welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a bit of a chit chatty talky video as opposed to my normal hauls or tutorials. One of the things that I get emailed about the most is after hijab advice is careers in law and being a law student and what advice I have for people, and most of the questions are pretty much the same every time, so I thought it would be easier to film a video where I kind of answer all of the generic questions, and then I post on my Instagram as well about specific questions, so you guys have asked your questions on there, so I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. I don't want this video to be like half an hour long, so I'll try and do as much as I can without making it too long. That being said, I'm going to get straight into it. So I thought I'd start off by clarifying how you can qualify as a solicitor in the UK, what it entails, what a law degree entails, and how to kind of get there. The first thing you do is a qualifying law degree. So the normal degree is an LLB law degree, which is made of 7 core modules and then optional modules. It's a 3-year undergraduate degree. I think the core modules are contract law, tort law, public law, EU law, criminal law, land law and equity, land law and then equity. So yeah, they're the 7 different modules, and then you have optional modules. What you can do is you can do a different undergrad degree, so psychology, history, something completely different, and then do a 1-year GDL, which is essentially the 7 core modules squeezed into 1 year, and then that kind of counts as your qualifying degree. After you've done the degree, you need to do a 1-year postgraduate diploma in legal practice, which is called the LPC. You can't qualify as a solicitor in the UK without doing this course, and once you've done the course, then you do a 2-year training contract with a firm. Now, working for a firm is not a training contract, it's a specific type of contract that you need to have with a firm. Most people have jobs as paralegals or legal assistants or legal secretaries within firms, and getting a training contract is so difficult. It's like 300 people to one training contract, so it's not impossible, but it's really hard. So what I've done so far is the LLB degree and the LPC don't have a training contract. I'm actually doing a different route which will allow me to practice just property law, and then I can get a training contract in the future. And the route that I'm doing is called the CLC. Via the CLC I'll become a licensed conveyancer, so it's just a property lawyer and not a solicitor who practices all areas of law. Anybody can do the CLC. You can actually leave school with your A-levels and do the CLC. But if you've done a degree, some of the core modules you don't on the CLC you don't have to do, and if you've done the LPC, some of the core modules you don't have to do. So if you've done a qualifying degree and the LPC, I think it's 2 modules on the CLC that you have to do, along with a set amount of work experience. So if you leave A-levels, I think it's a lot longer. For me, I think it was 1,200 hours, which worked out to be about 8 months. And that route allows you to qualify as a property lawyer. And then the third route that you can do to kind of practice law is to become a legal executive, and that's the ILEX route. So you do the degree, and then instead of doing the LPC, you do the, I think it's CILEX or something like that course, and that is like the LPC but part-time and a lot cheaper, but you have to work as well, and you kind of have to do a portfolio of your work. So if you're doing a degree or if you kind of want to practice law, I would recommend researching all 3 areas and seeing what the best is for you, and what works for you both financially and personally, and then kind of pursuing that. And don't think that you have to take the traditional route into law. For me, I didn't choose to do the CLC. It kind of just happened. I wanted to, when I finished my degree, I wanted to go out there, get work experience, and decide what I wanted to do. I always wanted to do sort of charity work and do stuff that helped people, as opposed to maybe going down the traditional solicitor route. But everything was for a reason, I guess. When I graduated that summer, I applied for loads of jobs. I was overqualified for a lot of jobs and underqualified for a lot of others. So I was in this grey area. I went for one interview and it was horrible. And I kind of came home and thought, that's it, I'm going back to uni. Kind of dug my head in the sand and didn't want to deal with things. If I tried and if I persevered, maybe I could have got a job and I wouldn't have gone back to do the LPC. But these things happen, and I think to myself, I've got those qualifications under my belt now. So if in the future a training contract comes along, inshallah, then I'll go down the solicitor route. But right now I'm happy doing the CLC. I haven't applied for any training contracts just because I've always been a little bit worried about whether I've got enough experience on my CV, because that is one thing that firms will look at, and most firms will give people who've had work experience within that firm a training contract because it shows dedication to that firm, and it shows that that person knows what they're letting themselves into by applying to that firm. That was kind of like a roundup of everything. I'm gonna go and look at your questions now and kind of answer those. A lot of them will be quite repetitive, so I'll kind of try and merge them into one if I can, because I don't want this video to be too long. So aka Sikek has asked, how did you know that that law is the right thing for you to study? I didn't really, it kind of just happened. I mean, my dad said to me to be a solicitor, which most Asian parents do, I guess, at quite a young age, and it just stuck in my head, and it's what I wanted to do. When I was growing up, I was always quite argumentative. I loved getting into debates, I had fire in my belly, and it's just the sort of thing that everybody said to me, yeah, we can see you as a solicitor, we can see you as a solicitor, and it's just stuck in my head, and that's why I pursued it. I did really, really enjoy my degree, and I enjoyed everything I studied, and even now I like reading about things and I like developing my legal knowledge. So I guess if you feel that passion for it, then you know it's for you. Whereas if you feel like you're forcing it and it doesn't really interest you, and when it comes to writing the essays, etc. at uni and you hate it, then you know it's not the right thing for you. KD No Name says, how do you remember all the case laws and notes? And the best method of memorization. I can do a whole video memorization if you guys want, because I did get quite good grades at both school and uni, so I believe that my techniques work. For me personally, when I was at uni, I did like A3 sheets. Well, I did notes of all the cases and stuff, and then condensed them onto A3 sheets, and then condensed them onto A4 sheets. So I always took my notes, condensed them, and the more times you write something, I think the longer it stays in your head. And I always made links from what the case was about to the name of the case, and kind of made pictures in my mind, and that's how I remembered things. Could you give some advice for people who just think about studying law, or for those who just started? I think my best advice is to keep on top of things and make sure you understand it. I think with a lot of people who do law, it's just the type of characters we are. We're blaggers, we blag things, we know how to talk. That's why we feel that the law is a good area for us to go into. But when you come to study a law degree, because it's really academic and it's theory based, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to understand it before you can then break it down and comment on it and analyze it. So if you don't understand something, ask your friends, ask people in your class, ask your tutors, because you won't be good at analysing it until you actually understand it. Is it hard to study law? That's from Sebinaah01. Not really. It's not. I mean, for me, it's not, because I've studied it now. If you'd asked me that whilst I was doing my degree, I probably would have said yes. But it's like with anything new, you know, if you don't know, if you don't understand, it's always going to be hard, but you have to still try it. Slam, how did you decide you wanted to practice law rather than go down another route such as become an academic? If I'm honest, I'd probably love to be an academic. I would prefer to be a lecturer. I'd prefer to go back in, because my LPC course, it was half a master's, so if I do the dissertation, it qualifies as a master's. I'd love to go back and do that and do my PhD and be an academic, but I guess you kind of sometimes just go the way life pushes you. That Modesty Prevail says, what different careers can you end up in, and how did your parents feel about you doing law? There's quite a lot of things you can do with law, but I would be very mindful that if you've done a law degree, especially if you've done a law degree and LPC, it's very hard to then pursue a different industry without doing other qualifications or other work experience. If you then want to go into a customer service based role, or a very creative role, or an accounting role, and you've got a law degree and legal related experience, the person employing you is going to question, why do you want to do this when you spent half your life pursuing something else? So you have to, if you want to go into another area that's law related, such as charity work, or I can't think of anything, there's loads of things I can't think of anything at the moment, or politics or something like that, I would recommend getting experience in that area. That then coupled with your law degree will show future prospective employers that, yeah, this is the area that you've always wanted to go into. 098 said, how hard is it to get a job in the law industry? I want to study law, inshallah, but I'm contemplating as to whether I'll get a job afterwards. You'll always get a job, but it's whether you'll get a training contract, or whether you'll get a job that you want or that you'll enjoy. Everybody that I pretty much did the LPC with is in a job right now and is working. The one thing that I would say is that a lot of people that I did my LLB degree with then went on to do a master's or the LPC or something else. Not everybody got a job straight after doing our undergraduate degree, so that's what's the difficult part. Iqra7799 says, she's asking a few questions, but one of them says, did you have any difficulties because of wearing hijab? No, I started wearing my hijab after my first year of my LLB. I was really lucky, alhamdulillah, that I was at uni where there was a lot of Muslim sisters, and I think that encouraged me to wear the hijab. And never really, whilst I was at uni, I never really felt like I was being judged or graded on my hijab. I think one of the most intelligent women I've met in my life, Lisa, I can't remember her surname now, Lisa Webley? I can't remember. One of my lecturers at uni, I think when I went into her office after wearing the hijab, and this woman looked me straight in the eye and talked to me exactly the same way she had done before I started wearing it, I kind of realised that no, if somebody's educated enough, they will never judge you on what's on the outside. And I think that gave me the confidence to carry on wearing it. So no, I don't think I've ever had any difficulties because of it. Finally, love_hijab forever said, just wanted to say hi. My throat is killing me right now. I really need a drink. I think my sisters are arguing. They're watching X Factor. Don't know why they're arguing. But yeah, that's kind of it. I hope this video isn't too long. I'm going to try and edit it because at this moment in time, I think it's like 36 minutes or something. My camera switched off twice. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, leave them down below and I will try and answer them. If you guys want like an advice tips video, there's already one on my channel, so I'll link that below as well. And if you kind of enjoy these chatty videos, make sure you give this a thumbs up, and I'll try and film them more often. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all soon, inshallah. And welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Primark haul for you. I haven't filmed one in absolutely ages. So I was in Oxford Street today and I picked up a few pieces and I thought, why not share them with